Yo, My Hero Academia chapter 274 is absolutely crazy. Let's talk about it. All right, so the chapter kicks off with a banger. It's Endeavor versus Shigaraki, and oh my god, it was so hype. So Endeavor comes in, he lays down a ton of fire, um, and Shigaraki gets really badly burned, but then he's just like regenerating instantly. So it's really showcasing how he has like All for One and all these different quirks now. And then he jumps up into the air to combat Endeavor, and then Endeavor's like, nope, and then he just slams him back down into the ground with like a bunch of fire and whatnot with a ton of power. And then Shigaraki manages to blast him away with a quirk similar to what Bakugo uses. Like he brought up his hand and like he like pushed Endeavor away, kind of in like an explosion, I'm assuming. So that was freaking crazy. That was so intense. I thought Endeavor would get the axe. I was so scared. But they were just exchanging blows, and it really showcased Shigaraki's power now. And then what's also interesting is while they were fighting, Shigaraki kept on having like a voice in his head telling him to go after One for All. So we saw in the last chapter how it was saying like destroy, but now we see like it's egging him on to go after One for All. And then we see him use Search, which is the quirk that was taken from the one of the girls and the Pussycats. And he sees Deku. He's like, yo, there's One for All. I see it. And then he's going after it. He jumps after it. And then Endeavor's in hot pursuit. But it's crazy. Like, and Shigaraki's power is OP. Like, he's regenerating. His speed and power are insane. You see him use multiple quirks. Like, this is what All for One should have been, or this is what All for One would have been if he was in his prime. Like, it's crazy what Shigaraki is doing right now. And then it's even like One for All is finally in the spotlight now because Shigaraki like out loud said like, I'm going after One for All, and Endeavor heard him. Like everybody on the comms heard him, and Burnin, like Endeavor sidekick, was like, One for what? Huh? It doesn't matter. We gotta evacuate these people. But now Endeavor's thinking like, One for All, like what is this that Shigaraki's going after? Like, it's crazy. Like, could One for All be exposed to the world? Like, is All Might and Deku's secret about to get out and people are gonna find out what One for All is and that Deku has it? Like, that's crazy to think about. Or at least Endeavor's hot on the trail of what that thing is now. But anyway, we see Shigaraki using the Search quirk to pin down Deku and go after him. And Deku makes the decision to like basically leave the evacuation area, so he'll lead Shigaraki to go somewhere else, and Bakugo goes with it. Bakugo goes with him, and oh my god, it's just so crazy. And then at the end, Deku contacts Endeavor. He's like, "Yo, I have reason to believe that Shigaraki's coming after me. Can we team up on this one?" Like, it's freaking crazy what's happening. Like, we get to see Shigaraki with his like all these insane powers. We see One for All maybe having the potential to get like leaked to outside people. Deku Bakugo versus Shigaraki is incoming. Like, oh my god, this chapter was so crazy. I cannot wait to see what happens in the next chapter, because Shigaraki is definitely going to encounter Deku and Bakugo, possibly Endeavor as well. And another thing I saw Uraraka staring at Deku while they were leaving. So I hope she doesn't try and get involved. I hope they're not in like the midst of a fight and then Uraraka just like shows up and gets the shit beat out of her or something. Like, that would be, I wouldn't want to see that happen. But I don't know. Like, this chapter was just so crazy. And then if we go back to what Shigaraki, how he was getting like the mental voices like saying to go after One for All. Like, he was saying like, I don't feel complete. Like, something is egging me on to go and get this One for All. I'm wondering like, what could it be? Like, I'm thinking it might be All for One, like the person All for One, like maybe like controlling or manipulating Shigaraki. Because All for One's not out of this, so I'm wondering if he's like pruning Shigaraki and only to like take over his body or something, like Kaguya style. Like I said this in the last episode too, not the last episode, but the last video I made on the last chapter. And this just seeming more and more likely to me, because he's getting these mental voices, kind of like the vestiges that Deku gets from One for All. So it could be that it's just like a vestige of All for One's will, or it could literally be All For One manipulating Shigaraki to just be his puppet. Kind of like how Orochimaru manipulated Sasuke so he could take his body. That's what I'm thinking it's gonna be right here. But yeah, Shigaraki, he was looking like a badass too. He didn't even kind of look like himself when he was going after Deku, and like he didn't even like really look like him, but he looks really cool. So I'm not complaining at all. And it was cool. They cut back to the Pussycat Girl. So if anybody didn't understand what was going on with Shigaraki using the search quirk, they basically just out and said it like, yo, he's using the search. So that was a nice little touch, just for people that didn't pick up on like this ability that Shigaraki is using. But it was really cool. Like the Endeavor fight was really short, but it was a really good showcase of how Shigaraki is just OP now. Like he just brushed off Endeavor like he was nothing, and is just like heading towards One For All. Like he didn't even bother with Endeavor. He just left. He was like, yo, you're not even worth my time. Like you can't do anything to me. I'm leaving. So that was freaking crazy. But yeah, Deku and Bakugo going off on their own is about to be a heated battle between them and Shigaraki. I am so hyped for the next chapter. Like I did not know what to expect going into this chapter, but it was absolute insanity. Like, oh my god, it was crazy. It was just one big hit after another. Like again, Endeavor fight, and then we see Shigaraki being OP and using multiple quirks, and then we see One For All being talked about. Like Shigaraki is like verbally saying One For All, and people are like, oh, his goal is One For All, what is that? And now Deku and Bakugo are heading off to another location to split up, so Shigaraki isn't headed towards all the civilians. And so, you know, they're about to fight soon. There's about to be the ultimate confrontation between Deku and Shigaraki, with Bakugo there as well, and Endeavor. Maybe even Uraraka. Who knows? She might pop in for a little bit. So that's freaking crazy. And then we also see Deku communicating with Endeavor. So which really showcases, you know, they were working together for a couple months with Bakugo and Todoroki. So that was really cool to see as well. But yeah, this chapter was absolute insanity. I was getting like so giddy while reading it. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I just had to talk about it. But yeah, I'm so excited for this next chapter because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be Shigaraki versus Bakugo and Deku, and then possibly Endeavor is going to come in there as well. Like, I don't know if they're going to get to fighting right away. There might be some words exchanged, but it's going to be so exciting. And another thing we saw in like the last panel when Bakugo and Deku were like heading to another location, we saw Deku using Black Whip to hop around. That was just a nice little detail as well, that he was like using Black Whip in tandem with Full Cowl to get the same level of mobility that Bakugo has and just swing around Spider-Man style. So that was really cool to see, a nice little detail. But yeah, we also saw like some civilians like being like, damn, this hero died. Damn. So we know they already know that Shigaraki already killed a bunch of heroes. So damn, Shigaraki is shaping up to be the biggest villain so far. Like he's what All For One would have been if he was in his prime. Like, it's crazy. I've just been saying this over and over in the past videos, but I do not know how Shigaraki is going to be stopped. I'm sorry. Like, Endeavor hit him with everything. He just got up. He brushed it off. He was like, yo, you're an ant. I'm sweeping you out of my path. Get out of my way. He just left. Like, you can't just brush off the number one hero like he's nothing. But Shigaraki did that. So I don't even know how they're gonna stop him. I really don't. It's gonna be crazy to see what happens, and I'm so excited. There's a lot going on in the background too, but yeah. So that's all I had for this one, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like if you had anything I'd like to say, and consider subscribing if you want to see my content in the future. And yeah, that's about it. So bye.